Where we stayed in Munnar was up the big hill and we couldn't take the bus up, so we had to take a jeep. OH&S, safety as ever. This is the spare tyre that's bald. And here we are at the top of the mountain. There's a beautiful outlook from our room. And this is the bridge we had to go over to get there. Looking down the river, beautiful scenery. Very picturesque. One of the local schools. This is Mataputi Dam, which was built in 1953 for hydro and for water. Very scenic. And there were some chaperones there, monkeys. And there was ladies selling fruit to feed the monkeys. So the monkeys were very well fed and had to sleep in the sun. Fairy floss. The Indians seem to like fairy floss. And a horse that you could go for a ride on. Looking back across the dam. Apparently you put coconut oil in with this concoction and it makes a good hair tonic. This was a little marketplace that was set up near the dam wall. As I said, very entrepreneurial, any chance to make money. Quail eggs and chook eggs. Just some of the nice colours you see in the marketplaces. Bangles and little bags. Green chilies that they batter and deep fry and then they eat them. Must say I didn't ever try one. Back through the tea plantations, we went to a non-government organisation that works with people of different abilities to make products. They do block dyeing for fabric, amongst other things. They make paper, and in the strawberry season they make a lot of strawberry jam. Every house, every hovel has a dish for the TV. Again, one of the government grog shops. We had to line up. And it was quite a novelty, a white Western woman lining up with all the local men to buy my rum. India is full of surprises. All India, all breeds champion dog show. Whoever would have guessed? All the jeeps lined up, ready to take you up the mountains. Footbridge across to the other side of the river to another market. Police aid post. I really liked the market in Munnar. It was very much one for the locals, not tourist orientated at all. Not quite sure that I would have eaten this fish. We're about 5 or 6 hours from the coast and plenty of flies. The dried fish might have been all right. Some taro. Chilies. These were called tree tomatoes. The local mosque. And for the busy Indian housewife, some dosa mix instead of having to do it from scratch. Funny little alleyways and stairs leading here and there. A tractor that would pull the tea back to the factory. Not surprisingly, the local cricket game, the boys all out there having a hit. And as I said, it's beautiful scenery. And we headed down the mountains towards the west coast. Past one town or village where they were having some sort of political rally. Everyone lined up. They're all men, of course, no ladies. Here's the chai walla's bike. Chai is a sweet, spicy tea that the Indians love. The fellow fills up all his little paper cuts and takes them round to the stall holders. About 5 rupee. Some matching dresses you can buy there for the whole team or the whole family. This is mace, apparently. Colour, colour, colour. As I said, there's more Christians in southern India, and so some of them were revving up for Christmas. Lots of bling and sparkly Christmas decorations around. As usual, the Indians, whatever they do it in a big way. Kochi is on the west coast of India, on the Arabian Sea, about 600,000 people. It's been a spice trade centre for years, going back as far as the Greeks and the Romans, the Jews, the Syrians, Arabs. Kochi was a Portuguese colony at one stage, so it was a big Catholic influence. Potato chips. Any sort of knife you like. One of the churches. Looking out on the waterways. Even the women will sleep wherever they can on the hard concrete. Yep, just taking a nap. This was an interesting ad. Not quite sure why only 64 positions are mentioned. So it's an industrial port as well. I could have got myself a job at the nursing school perhaps. Public health message about the dangers of smoking and the cancers you can get. And they need this sign, the Indians do like to spit. Little youngster on the ferry. We caught the ferry across to Fort Kochi. A trawler in need of some maintenance. This is one of the ferry stops. I saw more cats in South India. The further south, the more cats I saw. We went to this synagogue, which is supposedly the oldest synagogue in India. There's only about 7 Jews left. The rest went back when Israel became formed. Another church. These are fans that people used to stand outside and pull them so that the parishioners could be kept cool. Here's the list of hymns for the service. This is another basilica. Went in there and they liked their bling in that church. All the statues and things were lit up, and I wasn't quite sure what this was all about, but it was there glowing in the church. Lots of street art around Fort Kochi. Very interesting. Quite good actually. Hadn't seen any graffiti or street art anywhere else in India, so it was quite unusual. Working class heroes in the tuk-tuks. Very Indian scene there. They even painted the trees. And learning to drive. That was fascinating. As I said, the industrial port. And they had these Chinese fishing nets. Apparently it's the only place outside of China. They lower them in and then pull them up and collect whatever's in the bottom of the nets. They are sorting out their nets. So then there was the obligatory fish market next door, where they sell anything, any size. A few crayfish, not quite size in Australia I don't think. Rajasthani puppets, you can find them everywhere for the tourists to buy. I like the colour of all the thongs lined up. This was unusual to see this cupboard house, looking green and very European. Catholic school, boys all out playing. And the nun's there keeping an eye on. You can't see it, but she's got a little stick to keep them in line. Renovator's Delight, in need of some repair. And Bob Marley Cafe in India. Mahatma Gandhi Beach. And here it is, very bleak looking. I don't know what he would have thought about it, but there it was. Bikes all at the ferry terminal. Canals, they do call it the Venice of the East. Interesting, a Muslim orphanage. And we went to this coffee shop called the Cachet Art Cafe. It was very European looking and could have been anywhere in the world. And the coffee was very nice too, and the hot chocolate was the best we'd had in India. Very stylish place. Even had nice art. We went to a performance of Indian opera. This was one of the signs that was there. Kathakali is a stylised classical Indian dance that tells stories from the Hindu religion. Has elaborate makeup and is defined by the gestures and things. So there's just a few clips now of what it was like. So that ended our time in Kochi, and the next day we were heading further south to the backwaters.